another atheist video. It is video week for me. I haven't done a video for a while. Been busy. But today and tomorrow is my day off. It's already late. I was busy reading my Bible today. And I was actually reading a study Bible that I had in my bookshelf collecting dust. And I opened it up and started reading a lot of the articles in there. And it's a lot different than my other study Bibles. Here's the thing. I started looking at a video and I just typed it in. And it was Jubilee. I don't know if you are familiar with the Jubilee network or the Jubilee channel. These people have done a real good job at getting blacks and whites to talk. They've been doing a real good job at getting politicians to talk. You know, they do videos like, do all Trump supporters think alike? Do all Democrats think alike? The one I watched today was just a little bit ago, actually, was atheist and Christian debate. Okay? And what was going on there, it seemed like when they had the atheist-Christian debate that the atheists got heated. And they were all heated mainly about one guy. A guy that I would look up to. There was this old white gentleman, somebody's grandpa, who was very definition-like. You know, he had a definition for everything. He defined everything not only biblically, but he defined everything he said in the context that was already defined, that we usually define it. And the atheists, one of the things that they keep doing, they keep changing the definitions to things. And this woman wasn't sure whether she was an agnostic or an atheist. Now, he jumped the gun. I would never tell anybody that, well, you're not a Christian, you're not an atheist, you're not an agnostic or whatever. But he told this woman, you're not an atheist. You're an agnostic. An atheist does not believe that there is a God. Now you're saying that you believe in God if this, and it doesn't matter what if. If you say you're an atheist, that means you don't believe in God. And, you know, then one of the atheists also asked the question, don't you know right and wrong? You need a Bible to tell you right and wrong? One of my favorite questions. And today, I'm going to give you the answer. Here's my answer. I know what's right and wrong for me as a human secularist. However you want to pronounce that. As a humanist, or a secularist, or a social justice warrior, or a homosexual, or a fornicator, or a liar, a perjurer. Okay? I know what's right and wrong for me in the eyes of the secular world. That's not the problem. That's not the issue here. But when you say, when a Christian allows God to choose right and wrong, even though some of those things may be right and wrong naturally in the secular world, God's definition is always higher. God's standard is always higher. And we as Christians, we sacrifice. The word is sacrifice. It's not just merely believing, but we believe so strongly that we sacrifice our secularism. We sacrifice our right to be humanists. We sacrifice whatever feelings that we have about abortion, about homosexuality, about whatever. It's not that we hate these people, so we use Christianity to explain our hate. No, that's not the way it was. We were all just like the atheists at one time. Now, some had been born into the church, so they never known what it was like to be secular or to be worldly, as the Bible would call it. But I've been both. I was born and raised in the church. I left the church. I spent some time angry at God. I spent time in the fornication, and I spent time, trying to find pleasure on the other side of the wall. Spend some time. I have 2 kids to show for my fornication, as well as my marriage. Okay? I have scars to show for my time in the world. I have enemies that won't let certain things go because of my time as a non-believer. But when we come to Christ, we sacrifice ourselves, our secular feelings. See, everybody has those secular feelings, like, like why is homosexuality my business? If I'm either I think that, okay, I like to watch women, let's say porn, on a porn level, for example. I like to watch women get laid by men. But I like to see the guys get into it too. Okay? Either I'm that person, or it ain't none of my business. Capitalize, it's not any of my business. But see, the atheists, the last thing they want is silence. See, they'll get mad if they see a Christian out on the street preaching the gospel. They'll get mad. And if they can't make a joke out of this guy and get like a whole bunch of people laughing and that kind of thing, and mocking, that kind of thing, then what they'll do is start throwing stuff, start slamming stuff, breaking stuff. Like they do to David Lynn all the time whenever they go out there. And it's not the Mormons. There's one, not the Muslims. There's one Muslim that got angry and actually pulled a knife on David Lynn. Was it a knife? It was like a baseball bat or something, some kind of object. It was a pipe. Something he had in his briefcase or something. He was going to hit David Lynn with it. They all had to jump on him. Okay? David Lynn is my man. He's doing something like you won't catch me dead doing it. You won't see me in my dreams doing it. You can't even fantasize about me being David Linden, put myself in his shoes. That's the call of God. That's between him and the Lord. But David Linden goes through this kind of thing, and he knows better than anyone how many times, if you look at all the different groups, who are the two people that get so angry when you stand up and preach the gospel? And before you even sit there and say anything about homosexuals, it is a homosexual that will walk up to you. You didn't even say nothing about them. They'll walk right up and they'll start flipping out on you and saying all kinds of stuff about what you believe. They're going to tell you what you believe. Same thing with atheists. Those are the two people, homosexuals and atheists, that will come up to you and just go off. Hebrew Israelites will come up to you and they'll just try to talk over you, won't let you, speak. They'll just try to put their doctrine over yours, and won't let you finish. And no matter what you say, they got to explain themselves, even though you didn't explain it for them 100 times. You said what they believe, and they agree with you. What's left to explain? But again, I have my feelings where I just want to be left alone, where I don't want to share my faith with anybody because it's mine. And I am one that doesn't feel that, if I don't share my faith, I'm doing an injustice to God or my people. Okay? But I sacrifice, again, what I feel. Okay? Because I don't feel like telling anybody about Jesus. I don't feel like letting homosexuality be my problem. I don't feel like letting atheism be my problem, and it's not. Okay? Because the more and more I hear an atheist open up their mouth, the more and more I hear homosexuals open up their mouths, okay, the more I grab a hold of my Bible and I start to understand why I need to grow and continue to grow in Christ. Bravo, atheists. Bravo. One more time. I don't need a Bible to tell me what's good and right, or right and wrong, in the secular world. I need God to tell me what the rules are in His world. Let me say that again so you get your notes right. I don't need God or the Bible to tell me what's right in your world, in the secular world. Okay? I know in your world I can go right now out on the street, okay, and let, 100 men or women give me a BJ and it's okay with you. I know in the secular world it's okay whether I want to be gay, bisexual, or straight, and it's okay with you. If I want to mix them all together, it's okay with you. You have about this much on the meter scale of what you actually would call wrong. Whereas me, I have this much that is wrong. Okay? That's the difference between us and you that are atheists. Okay? You got this much that you see a problem. We see this much. Okay? That's a big difference. It may be wrong for me to rape a woman to you. But to me, I got to be careful how I talk to a woman. I got to be careful how I joke around with a woman. I don't bring a woman in my apartment that ain't my wife. See what I'm saying? You know. Now, I don't need a Bible to tell me what's right and what's wrong. In a secular world, in a world that supposedly is becoming more and more atheist, I digress. I think it's becoming less and less atheist. I think atheism is on a hold right now. I even go searching YouTube unless some of these atheists got banned with Farrakhan and the others that are preaching hate speech. I go looking on YouTube for atheists, and I get the same old atheists that were there last year and the year before. There really isn't no new, Now, the Cosmic Skeptic, he done stepped up. I see a brand new video that he just did. He done went from doing simple YouTube videos to being a speaker like Matt Dillahunty now. But, and for starters, atheism is not a religion, nor is it a rejection of God. Here we go. How can atheism not be a rejection of God? If you don't believe in God, when your forefathers, your grandmama, her grandmama, okay, and all these different people before you, like you are like the newest religion arising, and I know one of you in my book you're a religion, okay? Don't bother to correct me. You're a religion. I don't care. Okay, everybody is religious. If you are not religious, I did a video on this. If you are not religious, you don't have an answer and you don't have a question. People that are religious have answers, have questions. Okay? And usually them answers are made up as they go along. Same thing with the questions. You answer a question. You answer an answer, or I'm sorry, you answer a question with a question, and you give an answer for an answer. It's never think about it, go home, come back after you've done your research and answer the daggone question. It's always, now here come this dummy. You say the word atheism, they come running like a pack of wolves. I say this in every atheist video I do. You can't say the word atheist without them come running like a pack of wolves. Just like I can say something about black folks and they come running like a pack of wolves. Okay? But I can get more people, I take that back, I can get just as many people to disagree with me about what's wrong with black folks, and they'll all be black. Okay, most of them will be black. As I can about atheism and what's wrong with atheism. There's nothing wrong with atheism. This is what's wrong with atheism. Atheists tend to constantly think that they can keep on making this up as they go along. And they keep telling us their rejection for God. Okay? And it's not our problem. You know what I mean? Just like if I'm trying to lose weight and somebody else is eating and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I say, oh, well, hey, buddy, you might want to do something with that gut because, I've been on a diet. I done lost about 10 pounds. But, you might want to, I'll look at him and I might say, you might want to stay off the bread and pasta, brother. Okay. And he gets all offended. It's the truth. Okay? Might want to chill with the French fries and the hamburgers. Chill with that McDonald's crap, man. You know? Eat some salads every now and then. You're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You swelling up like a super large balloon, brother. He gets all offended. Is it my problem? Oh, I should have said, what you want me to say? How nice you want me to say it? Oh, well, maybe a good health book will help you. Maybe a book on belly fat will help you. Or what you want me to say? Oh, it's okay, buddy. It's okay to be fat. There's no health problems with being fat. You're beautiful in the eyes of God and man and women and everybody. Dude, being fat is a good, positive thing. There's no reason why you should have any doubts about being fat. If I were you, dude, I'd eat up tonight. Because tomorrow we might be out of food. I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm not fat. I got a little belly, which I've lost some pounds. But I'm not fat. And you bring food in front of me, it's not that I want to judge you by your food. But when you bring food in front of me, that's my old life. I'm trying to cut back. And it's the same way with my faith. Like, this world is not my home anymore. I'm just passing through. So however we got on the subject, however I was invited to this debate, or however we got into this conversation, it's not my problem if you reject God. Okay? You say, like this knucklehead right here that just emailed me, oh, it's not a rejection of God. Well, if it's not a rejection of God, what the heck am I doing here? What are we talking about? Well, fine. What time am I picking you up for church then if it ain't a rejection of God? That's a dumb straw man argument. Every day, these atheists make stuff up. If you are an atheist, you simply do not believe that a God exists. Am I right? How do you keep saying, well, first of all, atheism is not this and it's not that? You don't believe in God, right? End of discussion. And I can accept that because it's simply not my problem. You reject God, you ain't rejecting me because I got mine. I have my lifestyle. I've made my sacrifice. Okay? Made my sacrifice. That's like teasing somebody for not having a car. Okay, when atheists try to like bully Christians, that's like teasing somebody for not having a car. When he just sold the car and decided to get the bus because he felt that riding the bus was more convenient, or he felt that the car was costing too much, or whatever, you know what I mean, or there was nowhere to park the car, or whatever. He's doing what's better for him. See, you get my drift here? He's doing what's better for him by selling the car. Now, you might feel him selling this car might be a stupid thing, but you're not walking in his shoes. Just like I can't see myself allowing one person's lack of the true faith in God that caused me to become an atheist. I can't see. I mean, I've been around false prophets all my life. Never made me want to quit and become an atheist. I've left churches. I've left friends. I've left, all kinds of people and decided not to be around them because of what they believe compared to what I understand. But that doesn't make me become an atheist, because it's not God's fault that these people are in error. And when you talk about Christianity, I realize today, after listening to a dozen, SDA videos and religions about whatever, and having enough friends that are Jehovah's Witnesses and all like that, and people coming to me on the street trying to get me to join their religion or whatever, I realized that Christianity, out of all these religions, has the most liberty. Okay? And we are free to pick our sides, and we are free to pick our corners of where we want to drill. So we have that liberty. So when you tell a Christian what he believes, that's kind of dumb. That's just as dumb as you keep changing what an atheist is. Let me tell you something. I don't really need to know or care what an atheist is, because I don't see God calling me to define atheism. But this is the problem with atheists. They think that someone's calling them to define what a Christian is, to define the Bible. You want to go in the Bible and try to attack the Bible with itself. Like we're too dumb to read, like we were trained to put tape over them parts of the Bible to talk about slavery. No, we just understand what you don't. We still are in slavery. And some people need to be enslaved. If we still believed in slavery today, that crap that happened in Europe would have never happened. Your terrorism problem would be over today, especially in Germany, especially in France. These people that are robbing the welfare system, I'm not going to mention colors or names, they're slaves. And even though they try to say, well, I don't work because I'm not a slave, you're a slave because you got to understand that work is a privilege. If you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't work, you don't own anything. If you don't work, you're slave to the lender. You're slave to those that provide you with all kinds of respirations. You don't work. Therefore, we're still in slavery. Okay? Now, maybe in your dumb brain you think I'm trying to justify something. I don't need to be a Christian. I am skin and blood just like you. I don't need to be a Christian. I choose to be a Christian. If I can't, there's nothing in my life that tells me that I have to stick with this Bible if I don't honestly believe it. But this is the truth. God saved me from being like you, or being like those that don't believe. Belief is a gift. Belief is a gift. The Bible says love endures all things and believes all things. Belief is a gift. And the Bible says in the latter days, the love of many will wax cold, because iniquity will abound. The love of many will wax cold. So a lot of people are not only, and this is where atheists are dumb. Not only are people lacking love, but as they lack love, they lack God. You can make a reply video. You can leave a nasty comment. I don't care. It's the truth anyhow. You can't beat me at this. All you can do is spit. And I just wipe it off and keep on going. That's all you can do. There is There is no way out of this. Whether you believe in God is not my problem. It's your problem. And if you decide that you don't believe in God, I'm not going to lose any sleep. If you decide that you believe in God, I'm going to check you. Okay? I need to believe that too. You got to make me a believer in that too, because there's a lot of people that call themselves Christians. Just because you ain't an atheist, that don't make you a Christian. Okay? Just because you read the Bible, that doesn't make you a Christian. Just like what I read tonight in that study Bible that I was reading. There's a fine line between knowing God and knowing about God. And half the Christian world know about God according to their religious denominational theology. But yet the God of the Bible, there's only one. There's only one God, one family of God, one Trinity, one baptism. There's only one. There's only one people of God. That is the truth. And all these atheists, they want to argue with all these Christians. They don't know who they're arguing with. And then they think they want to debate. You want to debate with somebody that ain't even a Christian. He don't know what he believes. And last time I seen Matt Dillahunty do, matter of fact, the last 3 times, that Matt Dillahunty did a video on a debate against a Christian. He kept changing the definitions. And that Christian is like, huh? Okay, my interpretation of this word and your interpretation of that word is 2 different things. 2 totally different things. Then he go to another word. Looks like to me, he doesn't want the audience. He doesn't want to be embarrassed in front of his audience. So he keeps changing the definitions. But see, I don't change the definitions. Whatever that was that you were talking about, put it back in the refrigerator and let it get cold. That's not what I'm talking about. End of discussion. Let's stick to it is written, being that is what we're having a debate about. Don't try to change it. Don't try to come at me like I've done videos on slavery and all this stuff in the Bible that y'all throw at us. And what y'all do is y'all keep changing. Well, let's go here. You know who else does that? The Jehovahs Witnesses do that. The Mormons do that. The Muslims do that. Every religion does that. They keep... You know what? I don't have to do that. If I say it is written, live with it. I don't have to keep changing it to win. You don't accept that. That's the way it is. I accept it. I don't see a problem with it. I'm just as human as you are. I don't see a problem. So I'm closing. There's one more thing I wanted to say. Silence. In closing, I come home from work every day. The only person I talk to about the Lord at work is a Jehovah's Witness, whom I do not agree with. I come home, I live by myself, got nobody to talk about my faith to. Haven't been to church in God knows how long. Okay? I watch a lot of YouTube. Watch a lot of TV. Sometimes that just makes me even more lonelier. Okay? But just like the Coptic Skeptic, or I think it's Coptic Skeptic, these atheists, they can't sit still. They keep coming up with ways to attack the Word of God and attack God's people, verbally. And some of them really, really believe, or really deceived to believe, that it's us, number one. Okay? That's biblical. I mean, what did they do in the Bible? They went after the people that proclaim the name of God, because if nobody proclaims the name of God, it's kind of like God will go away. If you quit talking about him, then he doesn't exist. Okay? Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like the way to make racism go away is quit talking about it. Quit accusing people stuff. When it comes to the truth of the Lord, I try to live the silent life. I try to evangelize. I don't evangelize sinners and atheists. That's the same thing. But I don't evangelize sinners. I evangelize people that have come to the Lord. Like there's a guy at my job who's young. He's almost young enough to be my son. And he's just now getting into the Bible and stuff. Thank God he has a Christian family. But he's more into it than his family is. Praise God. And he comes to work and I teach him. And when I talk to him, his eyes are open, like, you know. And sometimes I talk too much and I have to slap my mouth and understand that there's always tomorrow. Because if there's no tomorrow, then, you know. But it's God that does the saving, not me running my mouth all day. But, and I believe that, but what if there was silence? Can you be a silent atheist? Where does your atheism fall? I guess I'm repeating myself of what I've asked in other videos. Where does your atheism line up when you don't have a reason to talk about it? See, I'm a Christian because every day of my life I'm running into atheists, whether I realize they're atheists or not. I'm running into homosexuals. I'm running into lesbians. I'm running into liberals who think everything pagan is okay. My eyes are open to a world that needs Christ. I get on the bus, and I'm trying to help a guy, and I'm about to get punched in the face because this guy's crying about, you know, he asked me. Then he got mad at me for telling him, hey, this is your stop. You want to get off at the next stop. He's ready to punch me because he's drunk. I don't drink. That's why. I have drunk. I know what I'm like when I'm drunk. Stopped that a long time ago. But this guy, he's asking me, that's what they do when they're drunk. He's asking me a question and arguing with me at the same time. He's about ready to get physical with me because he's crying about a stop, and I let him know, you want to get off at the next stop. And what is everybody doing? Smiling. And if he had hit me, they'd have still been smiling, because that's the world we live in today. What happens when people get in a fight? People take pictures. They get out their cameras and put it on Facebook, put it on YouTube, okay? They're not going to come and break it up until somebody's almost dead. Okay? Last time I tried to break up a fight, I was almost dead. They was both about to jump me for breaking it up. I'm trying to keep them from fighting. They getting ready to beat me up for trying to keep them from fighting. That's the world we live in. But the atheists, you don't see these epidemics growing. Of course this was going on way back when we was kids. But you can't see that it's going on more today, that the love of many is waxed cold. And everybody gets on the bus or goes downtown or even in their car. They're looking at their phone and they're not paying attention to what's going on. Everybody's tied to their phone. You go into a place, a restaurant, a hospital, a waiting room of any sort. Everybody's looking at their phone. Why? Because they don't want to talk to each other. They don't want to speak. They don't want to say hello. They try to act like everybody don't exist. This is why I'm a Christian. This is why, you know what I mean? We can be as silent as we want to be, but I will be reading my Bible in the midst of silence. What are you going to read? Where are you at in the midst of silence? The Cosmic Skeptics can't sit still. He's got to be attacking Christians. He's going from college to college and university to university, and him and Matt and so many others. And it's like none of them do this stuff for free. Everybody's making a career out of what? Persecuting Christians. You're making a career out of persecuting Christians. And when I say this stuff, all I get is mockery. These atheists have no heart. If I go out there and I ruin a friend of mine, someone that I know from work, or even an enemy, and I ruin his career, whether I told the truth or whether I just simply made him look stupid in front of everybody, I feel bad about that. I feel bad about that because now that the truth is out, it don't take all that. But what do you want to do? You just want to destroy us. That's all you want to do. While you play victim, like a lot of black folks I know. And a lot of, and it's funny how there's not more black people being atheists. Well, it's growing. The black atheists are growing, but there's still more white atheists than black atheists. But you guys play victim. We're judging you, and we're being bigots, okay? But when you go to a town that ain't none of your business, and you try to rip a cross off of a church, okay, whose business is that? Huh? Whose business is this center of, what is that center called? Foundation of Freedom from Religion or whatever, going around trying to get the rights from our government to tell Christians what they can put on their churches or in their churches or what kind of worship they're doing and who can go in and who can come out and what neighborhoods to put them in and all this garbage. Like I said, you're making this religion up as you go along while you play the victim. Good luck with that. But again, what will you do in the midst of silence? Can you be a silent atheist? Can you just sit back and enjoy your atheism? I'm an atheist. And nobody cares. Just like I'm a Christian and nobody cares. But you can't do that, can you? I can. God bless you. I'm D-Roy Cruz, your Life Applications Officer. Sorry this took so long, but it was good. Have a great night.